following video contains some filthy stuff. You'll either love this build, or be triggered and damaged by it beyond repair. Viewer discretion is advised.
Oh, there's a squishy dude there. There you go, they're all blinded. They're all blinded. Hollow points for the boys, hollow points for the boys. Hollow points with the boys. Hollow points for the boys. Hollow points for the boys. Hollow points for the boys, one on the left there. Hollow points for the boys. That's the name of the build, by the way. Who needs hollow points? Do the boys? Boys? Yeah, have some hollow points.
Oh, shut up! You're so annoying!
Explosive seeker mine detected. Hostile explosive seeker mine detected. Detected.
Didn't I tell all of you out there? I'm gonna float like a butterfly and sting like a bee.
Sometimes this life can get rough. You get knocked down, but you gotta get up. Keep going. I'd have been knocked down 1,000 times, yeah, I traveled around 1,000 miles, feeling so tired, but you know I can't stop now. Came way too far, won't throw in the towel. It ain't looking real good, but I won't give up. Pac said that I gotta keep my head up, so I ain't going nowhere. Yeah, I'm standing right here. Demons all around, but I ain't got no fear. You can kick me down, but I won't stay down. I run this town, ain't backing down. We going them rounds. Yeah, the winds will blow, but these roots too deep. I'm on my feet, the underdog, and I won't be beat. In the fire now, but I won't be burned. I was waiting for this, and now it's my turn. Sweat on my face, blood in my eyes. Been underground, now I aim for the sky. Don't quit now, you can last longer. All these wounds only making you stronger. Don't give up now, yeah, you gotta climb. But we give it to all until the end, until the end of time.
We ain't going nowhere. We'll be standing right here until the end of time. Till the end of time. We ain't going nowhere. We'll be standing right here until the end of time. Till the end of time. Until the end of time. Until the end of time.
Yeah, been through a whole lot, but we overcome. Enemies in our face, but we ain't gon' run. Never drift off course, always stay on mission. Won't slow us down, cause we way too driven. Yeah, we put in these 10,000 hours. You won't stop us, cause we got the power. Whole world is watching, and I hope they ready. From here on out, we are legendary.
You can kick me round, but I won't stay down. I run this town, ain't backing down. We going them rounds. Yeah, the winds will blow, but these roots too deep. I'm on my feet, the underdog, and I won't be beat.
Turn the lights up now, welcome to the show. I ain't never gonna stop, this is all I know. My eyes on the prize, until I die. I'm gonna rise, level up to the skies. Yeah, we here now, we were chosen. All the pain brought us to this moment. Watch everything we work for fall in line. We gon' give it our all until the end of time.
We ain't going nowhere. We'll be standing right here until the end of time. Till the end of time. We ain't going nowhere. We'll be standing right here until the end of time. Till the end of time. Until the end of time. Till the end of time. Until the end of time. Till the end of time.
We ain't going nowhere. We'll be standing right here until the end of time. Until the end of time. We ain't going nowhere. We'll be standing right here until the end of time.
Till the end of time. Until the end of time. Till the end of time.
Hollow points, boys.
Sorry, children, and hello, aunties.
Plum here, g'day champions, how's it going? And welcome back to another Division 2 build video. Righto, so today's build is so bloody filthy. I know a lot of PvP players hate status effects, and I'm guessing that this dirty little build will trigger a lot of you. This is my ongoing directive support build, aka hollow points for the boys. Now, I know there's plenty of different ways to run this gear set, but this is how I've decided to use it. I had this build set up nearly 12 months ago, and while it was a little bit of fun back then, I didn't feel it needed a build video. Now that ongoing directive has been reworked, it makes it a lot more viable to use, and it's a heap of fun too. The way I've set this one up, we've gone with survivability. We are the crowd control, but we also have a lot of amplified damage, and we buff our team's damage and provide them with amplified damage too. Long story short, at the end of the day, it just all works. I have fun and I enjoy using it, and that's why you get in a build video. Righto, so welcome back to all you amazing subscribers, and if you're new to the channel and you're enjoying the content, you know what to do, pull your finger out and give that sub button a click. And please everyone engage with this video, a like, a share, a comment, it all helps with the magic and the wizardry of the YouTube algorithm. Doing all this stuff is going to help the channel and our amazing community grow. And don't forget to check me out on all my other socials, including Twitch, Discord, Facebook, the works. All the links for that stuff is in the description. Righto champions, with all that said and done, let's get into the build. Here it is, hollow points for the boys. 1 red, 5 blues, no skill tiers, and we're just under that 1.7 million armor mark. This is the balance of the core attributes I was using in the gameplay. It works really well for me. Over the next couple of weeks, I'll be looking at tweaking it a little bit just to sort of see how much more damage I can push out of this style of build. We have 4 pieces of the ongoing directive gear set, 1 piece Bellstone and 1 piece Golem. All these items are easy to farm for, and they're available in both the open world and the DZ. For our specialization, we're using Survivalist. We get those fire nades for even more crowd control, and it's another source of status effect. We have that team shared armor kit. Kits will also apply to our team within 20 meters. And group members get a 10% damage buff to targets with a status effect, and we don't need to be the ones to apply that status either. Okay, so for the weapons on the build, first up is the Stoner LMG. This is filthy, maxed out, and I've even upgraded it. 235 rounds in the mag, meaning when we do get our hollow points, we get 235 of them. LMGs are pretty awesome because we get both damage to targets out of cover and damage to armor at the same time, and that's amplified damage. The talent that we've got is Sadist, deals 20% weapon damage to bleeding targets. This again is amplified damage. And when we have those 235 rounds of hollow points, everything we shoot will bleed. Mod wise, I really wanted this to be a full-on laser at range, so I've gone with weapon handling for the sight, at plus 30 rounds for the mag, accuracy for the grip, and stability for the muzzle. For the secondary, I've got my Pesty and it's upgraded too.
You will suffer, as we suffered.
This one's great for marking up swarms of players with that Pesty debuff, Plague of the Outcast. Hits apply a debuff, dealing 100% weapon damage over 10 seconds. You can stack this 50 times, which is 5000%. Whenever a target dies with the debuff, all the stacks are transferred to a nearby target within 25 meters. Now the Pesty ticks aren't nearly as strong as some of the other Pesty builds I've made. And while the debuff and the tick isn't considered a status effect either, it's another source of status-like damage that your opponents have to fight against. And when it comes to having a full stack of Pestilence, it will make the server chew through heals and kits just to try and stay alive. For the pistol, I've gone with the TDI card for that +1 skill tier to help with our skill cooldowns a little bit. The talent that I've got on this one is Perpetuation. Headshots give a 50% status effect damage and duration to the next status effect applied. This is going to make the build next level triggering. Righto, now for the gear on this filthy little build. First up is the mask, and it's the first of 4 pieces of the ongoing directive gear set. We get 15% status effect, 30% reload speed, which is very handy for our LMGs, and rules of engagement. Shooting the status affected enemy will apply a mark. Killing a marked enemy grants a full clip of hollow point ammo to your active weapon and half a clip to the active weapon of those in your team. Active weapon just means the one that's in your hand. These marks will last 10 seconds. The dirty thing about this is hollow point ammo amplifies weapon damage by 20% and also applies a bleed. Don't forget that this bleed will also proc the survivalist weapon damage bonus for everyone else in your team. Switching weapons and filling both LMGs up full of hollow points is a great way to make sure that you can keep marking those players too. Now the truly filthy thing about this gear set is we don't need to be the ones killing those marked targets to get the hollow points for everyone. Also, I noticed that the timer of the mark doesn't seem to start until the status effect is finished either. For the attributes on the mask, I've gone with weapon damage, status effect, and a crit hit chance mod. I know I don't have nearly enough crit hit chance on this build to make it be like one of those, oh my god, look at the crits, but after testing skill duration, I didn't really see an impact on my status effects. You could always try something like your skill haste mods to help with your cooldowns. But someone in the team should always be using a Coyote's mask, so a little bit of crit was the way I went. For the chest, I've got one piece of Bellstone for that 1% armor regen. It doesn't seem like a lot because it's not really. But this is one of those items that I just had in my stash and I've put it on the build and it works. We've got max armor, max regen, max status, and I've gone with another crit hit chance mod. The talent that we've got on this one is Trauma. Headshots apply a blind, that's got a 30-second cooldown, and body shots are going to bleed your target, again a 30-second cooldown. This is how we're going to initially kick off that chain effect and keep getting those non-stop hollow points for the boys. The blind and bleed of Trauma is great for crowd control too. I know some players might prefer the Ridgeway's Pride chest here, but that does mean that you need to fight close range within that 15 meters to proc the bleed. Trauma's going to proc at any range, and even with a 30-second cooldown, it doesn't matter, because you're going to have 235 hollow point rounds in your stoner to keep tagging players and getting those marks. To the holster, it's the second piece of our ongoing directive gear set. Max armor and some status, not yet maxed out. The knees are the third piece of ongoing, we've got max armor and max status effect here. And the gloves are the fourth piece of our ongoing directive brand set. We've got max armor and max status effect. I know some players will be saying at this point use contractors because you're using LMGs and you're going to get more damage. And yeah, you would. But I do feel like the build gains and benefits so much more from being able to use a chest and a backpack talent. Which brings us to our backpack and its one piece of Golan. The brand set bonus does give us 10% status effect. We've got max armor, max regen, and max status effect with another crit hit chance mod. And for the talent, ooh, controversial. I'm going to be using Creeping Death. When you apply a status effect, it also applies to all enemies within 8 meters of that target. The cooldown is 15 seconds. This is amazing when fighting large swarms of players and hitting that one headshot and blinding the whole server, crazy. With all the status effect we do have on the build, Creeping Death's cooldown is basically over by the time the status duration's finished. Again, some players might be saying Wicked is better here for more damage, and that's fine. But try Creeping Death, especially in packed servers, it's just full filth. Okay champions, that's the guns and the gear, now what skills do we want to use? Personally, I've gone with status related skills. It's just another method to deter and control the playstyles of the players that you're fighting. So I've gone with the Stinger Hive. The Stingers will also apply a bleed, and we know that bleed slows player movement and it's also going to proc that bonus damage. And the second skill, I've got the Jammer Pulse. It's great to counter other players by jamming and destroying their skills. Also, the Jammer applies a disrupt status effect to players, which also allows us to mark them up to get those hollow points. Don't feel like you ever just need to use these skills. Play around with them and see what works for you. You might find that a little naughty riot foam or a shock trap is in order from time to time. Okay champions, fine print time, the stat sheet. A quick reminder that we are basically a support build, so our damage is going to look a bit shit. Nearly 30% crit hit chance and 45% crit hit damage with the stoner. I know, exposed how terrible low crit. When someone in our team is using the coyotes, it is going to increase a little bit, but it's nothing worth bragging over. We do have 6% damage to armor and 12% damage to targets out of cover on both our LMGs. And the combination of Sadist and Hollow Points will give us 40% amplified damage too. For our survivability, like I said, we are just under that 1.7 million armor mark. 26k regen, which is enough to just help us reposition and pop a kit for ourselves or our team. And all the basic resistance stuff that is standard for SHD watch levels that are over 1000. When I finally get around to maxing out the status roll on our holster, we're going to have 85%, and then we can proc Perpetuation to get a filthy 135% status effect on the build. Not gonna lie, that's definitely going to be enough to trigger 1 or 2 players at least. So that's the build, champions. That's my ongoing directive build, aka Hollow Points for the boys. Super fun to use, but very, very triggering if you're on the receiving end of it. I'm going to be playing around with a DPS version of this, so swing by and see me live in action over on Twitch, and hey, if it works, you might even get a build video for it too. So what do you reckon? Are you going to be a champion and have a crack at my Hollow Points for the boys build? What modifications would you make? Let me know down below. And like always, show your content creators your support, like, share, comment, and subscribe. All this kind of stuff really does help support myself and the channel. So that's going to wrap it up for this one, and I will catch you all in the next one. I'm Plum out.